Hello to everybody. Hi, we're getting started here in just a second. Had a couple, boy, big news on Mosaic. If you're watching this in the future, it's not news to you, but it's kind of news to everybody here. 372 so far in the room. Yeah, so we'll talk about that a little bit about more of that in the second hour. So the format for today, by the way, or for those of you who are here for the first time, we do the full show for this hour, and then that's for Wings Credit. That will appear in the chat. So you will find that link later on in the chat. And then from there, I'll do a break about halfway through the show, talk about my me time, I call it, a little bit of me time. Uh, Show you some things I'm working on and some other things. And then after that, we'll go back into it. So 5, 7 minutes of that, and then we'll finish out at top of the hour, and then I'll close out everything. We'll stop the recording, and then what we'll do from there is we'll open up the second hour. I'll go through all the chats, and then see if there are any things that I need to answer, and then that should take 15 minutes or so. Check out see who's in the room, and then from there, we'll open up the mics so you can talk about what you want. In the end of that second hour, I need to go down to the beach. I got to go jogging. I call it that, but it's not really that. But that's what I like to call it. It makes me feel better to say that. So anyway, I'll go do that. But I'll put my AirPods in so I could hear everything and answer questions if I can stop. It's no big deal. Okay, so that's the format of what we're going to do, and then it just goes. So if we need to stay open, keep the room open for hours after that, it's fine. We last most of it we end by 5, so that's a lot of time. But there you go. All right, so let me get rid of this share here and let's get on to what I'm talking about. So what I did was I took a presentation we had that we teach for our initial CFI class, and I kind of tweaked it a little bit, and it's more for information for you than me gonna parrot off everything that's on there. So let me grab it here. The reason I put it up there was because you'd have something to refer to, because some of the stuff is a bit dense, and we don't really have to understand it in real time. But over some time, you could look at it, you could say like, oh, okay, that's what kind of you meant. So that's what that is. So let me bring this up here. Okay, bombed there a little bit, so I gotta unbomb it here. Here we go. So we're going to talk about best practices in risk management. And I have some pretty strong opinions on this. Of course, I don't have opinion on anything, right? It's just you know me, right? So, but I think I cracked the code, so to speak. And what I'll tell you what I mean by that in a second. But before we had the ACSs, risk management was one of those topics that is just left up to the individual to figure out what to do. We did have the risk management handbook. Now there's something right there. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And we did have the aviation instructor's handbook, but there's problems with all that. And no one likes everybody likes to like here's the one of the things that FA loves to do. And sometimes I work within the agency on committees for the Part 141 modernization. I can tell you that some of those people are highly talented, very, very, very talented, and very good. And all the ones on the 141 team are outstanding, just so you know. But then, there's other things that creep in, right? Through some back door. Like if you look at the airplane flying handbook and you look at that disaster energy management section. I mean, that thing will start off like 100 pages because I know who wrote it and who helped edit it. And then it ended up being whatever it is now, 40 pages. It's just too much. It's like high school physics. Who needs that, right? So we go down these roads. And so this happens in the risk management area. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something, what they used to call in your hard drive, declutter. How you like that? We're gonna go through and declutter it. And what we're going to do is make it manageable for us. And my contention is this is my firm belief, is that if we can make risk management palatable and make it so that it doesn't take that long and make it so it's interesting, could be interesting to do, I think we'll do it. I think we can teach our students to do it. And I think they'll want to do it because it does present not negate, it does help with safety of flight. And it also helps make really good decisions and decision-making capabilities. So that's what I want to do. But the issue is If I would just say, hey, go take a risk management course or go read the risk management handbook, by about the third page in, you'd be sleeping on the couch, right? So kind of like reading the FARs, let's pick them up and read that, right? So let's get into it. Live from CFI Boot Camp in Miami Beach, Florida, this is the Power Hour. Welcome.